Bristol has been pretty tricky.
We want tire fall off. We don't want tires to fall off a cliff.
When you know that you have the cars that are capable to win and you're not putting the days together, that is more frustrating than anything.
Multiple times we saw him kind of fish out of water.
I don't know who spun out more, him or Cole Custer.
I felt so smart. I'm going to walk into the show and tell Kevin, I got your
Welcome to Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour, presented by NASCAR on Fox. I'm Kevin Harvick. She's Kaitlyn Vincie, and he's the one and only Mamba Smith.
Mr. Rogers today.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers.
It looks good, Mamba.
Thank you. This studio been a little nipply here lately, so I needed to get something.
I went with the long sleeve shirt today.
Yeah, I see. I like the shoes you went with today too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. These, what did you say, Jordan
are,
Comforts?
Yeah, some sort of old man shoe.
Yeah.
Some old man shoe.
It's like a new age Forrest Gump.
It's like a new age Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, apparently we're all old because we don't know these young kids slang terms.
Yeah, 6'7".
6'7", buns.
Cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm so behind.
I
never even heard these until today. So I'm not sure
I get
what
them all
says.
now.
Oh, yeah.
I get them all at home.
There you go. I'm sure
You're like, what the hell are you talking about?
And he's just
Why can't we just
Speak
use normal
English.
words?
Use normal words.
Use normal words.
Just say, I don't like it. Like, I don't know.
I feel like I'm back on the race broadcast weekends and you're sending me something, but now you're out of touch.
Yeah, I'm out of touch.
So the stuff that you're going to send me at the beginning of the year is going to be wrong.
I'm just going to get it from Keelan.
And Tyler's no better.
Yeah. Tyler, our producer, did not help at all.
He didn't know it either.
He gave up.
That is a good idea. You should have Keelan pick a word next year.
I'm probably just going to go to the kids. I'm going to need the kids.
You're going to have to do something
I'm
different.
going to hang out at the Legend Car track and get some new material.
New material.
New words.
Yeah.
We'll be saying all kinds of words. Welcome into episode 64 here of Happy Hour. Plenty to talk about. Leaving
that's an
race.
understatement.
We will preview New Hampshire, talk about the drivers who are eliminated, and you have your sips.
We got good sips this week.
Good sips.
I mean, they're never
it's
bad.
A big
but
list.
These ones are pretty
Sometimes
funny.
they're bad.
No, sometimes they don't hit for you, but they hit for their fans.
Okay.
They love Mamba Social.
All right.
I promise I won't steal him this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I steal his thunder, apparently, when I don't know what I'm
Every
doing.
once in a while, she just kind of says what we're talking about before I get
Sorry.
What'd you decide on that last button this week?
This one?
Yeah.
This shirt, that's how the shirt is split. That's how the shirt runs.
Are you sure?
Are you
No,
going to
I don't
be doing a P&Q this weekend?
Yeah, I got P&Q
Oh,
this
we'll have to
weekend.
see the button choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't you button a sweater?
I don't know. I like to show my shirt.
To
It's a good shirt.
Okay.
Nice shirt.
I was just checking. Is that like wool?
It's
This?
definitely- Is
I
it
think so.
comfortable or scratchy?
No, it's
fine.
comfortable.
It's soft.
No,
Yeah.
it's soft. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
How was your weekend, Kevin? Well, I got to do a show with you. That was good. When the cameras.
My weekend was busy, so I don't even remember. What did I do?
Well, you did a truck race.
Started with the truck. Does that count for the weekend?
It does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Thursday?
Thursday night.
Truck race. Truck race was good. Lane Riggs got the win.
Yes.
Spun out on the first lap.
Lap zero, you said?
Lap zero. He was lap zero.
Lap zero.
I used to have that conversation with Max Pappas. I got mad at him at Watkins Glen one time because he would pass everybody in the first corner. He would just go like 5 wide, down in the dirt, diving in there. And I finally had to tell him, I said, Max, on lap zero, you're not doing very good when you pass all that as good as you think, because everybody there is trying not to wreck. You're the only one there that's trying to pass everybody. Everybody else is just trying to get settled and not wreck. And so I like those lap zero.
Yeah.
When you wreck on lap zero, you're going to hear it from me.
I thought that was funny when you said that. 0 to hero, though. Yeah, Lane
Zero
Riggs.
to hero.
By the way, that burnout, a piece of tire hit me in the face.
It did.
Chunked up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's good. He's got some good burnouts.
He
And then
does.
He gets out and it's like on fire. He's like
stoking the fire.
Yeah, I like how Lane does that.
It
At
was
least his
good.
shoulder stayed in place.
He noticed he doesn't
Definitely.
really
He does.
throw it up anymore.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like right here.
I think he had surgery.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
I think he had to.
Yeah. So, did the truck race and then went to South Boston for the weekend. So that was...
That's nice.
Yeah.
Cool
Yeah,
track.
Little short
I love
track
that
action.
short track.
Tore up a lot of cars. Thought
Did
we were
you?
sending one over the pit wall.
Oh, my.
Had a late race wreck. It was big.
In the late model stock race?
I was worried enough that I got off the trailer and walked down to evaluate everything because it was at one point I thought the car was going over the pit wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was big.
What'd you do?
What did I do?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Nothing. I hung out.
See, when you don't race on Sunday, you can't remember.
I went to actually use because Kevin wasn't there. I used his season tickets.
Oh, you gave him your
Charlotte
tickets.
FC. Shout
That's
out Josh.
nice.
You can
Yeah.
go whenever you want.
Yeah,
Aw.
no,
He'll take you.
It was great. Messi was playing. We won.
Oh, really?
FC is nine wins in a row.
No kidding.
Yeah, new record. So that was
Oh,
cool
wow.
to be a part of and just hung out all weekend.
Nice.
Watch racing.
Yeah, I did the same. I worked 2 races that day on Thursday.
Yeah, ARCA and trucks.
And then I interviewed a bunch of drivers at the stage. And I
Mm.
had, once again, a lot of fans asking about you and you.
Oh.
I think we should do an appearance there, all 3 of us.
Like a live show.
Like a live show?
Well, like we could do a live show or we could just go to the stage because so many fans want to see you guys
Oh,
to
we
do
could
an
like
appearance.
we could do like
Happy
a
hour
special
appearance.
edition Saturday night actual happy hour. We could have beer.
That would be
am
fun.
down.
Yeah, we could,
Yes.
We could find one of those tracks and we can do an actual happy hour, set up a bar, and we'll do a
Yes.
special edition show.
Tyler, are you listening?
I like this.
I love this idea. He says he's in.
Hey,
There
let's
you
get
go.
it. All right.
Okay, guys. So let's talk about the Cup race now. I got some flack on social media actually for saying that it was an elimination event, which is what it was. But I
Yeah.
did say it was also a race, by
Yeah.
the way. What did you?
You got flack for what?
They were like elimination event. It's not an event. It's a race. I'm like,
Every race is an event.
That's what
where
I'm
people screw up.
saying.
That's
They
where
find
people screw up.
any
it's
reason.
An event. If you call it, it should, every race should be an event.
Yes.
Because then the expectation, there's always a race at the event. But if the event is spectacular,
Yes.
the race is almost secondary.
And I do think there's a difference between an entertaining race and a good race.
Yeah.
Now, where do you think this one fell?
Ooh, yeah, I can be unpopular at times, but I think that I'm going to be honest with you in how I feel. So I'm very happy that some of you disagree and some of you agree. So that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that when you look at this race, I think you can be on both sides of the fence here. I think that Jeff Burton put it very eloquently
I knew that you were gonna use
on
that
the
word.
broadcast. And I think that the Goodyear representative did the exact same thing in talking about the industry. And the ask from the industry was to find tire fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will tell you, Bristol has been pretty tricky. And if it was at 2 p.m. on Sunday, we would have had no tire issues because the sun would have been out and the surface has to be a certain temperature for those tires to last, which is something very new.
Interesting.
Over the last couple of years. I'm not sure what happened, but now Bristol's surface temperature matters as to whether the tires are going to actually lay rubber down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to, like, Goodyear, what they're doing, what they're being asked to do is not an easy thing, right? We want tire fall off. We don't want tires to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
But you want where? Like and then the cars are changing because the setups are changing. So they're the last ones to know, right? Like we only have so many data points because we don't test. So they're only getting but so much information and then things change and then they're behind. Like they're always trying to get back in front.
And I think that I know this was a different right side compound
Yeah.
than it was softer than what we had there before. But I don't think it would have mattered which compound that you had because it sure seems to me like that 72 or below surface temperature matters more to the tire. But it was very interesting that, with the sun out and the way that it laid rubber in practice and a lot of those guys running 60, 70 laps on the exact same tire that you could barely run 40 laps on. But, I think it made it super intriguing.
Yes, it did.
It looked like, a tire management game, which was something that a lot of these guys were used to in their late model experience. And when I interviewed Christopher Bell on Victory Lap earlier, it looked a lot like a dry slick sprint car race where you see a lot of those guys that go too hard, blow out the right rear tire. So there's a lot of, the dirt guys can equate it and compare it to that. I think that a lot of the asphalt only guys that grow up only on asphalt can relate it to a late model stock race or a heavy tire wear place where you have to save the tires. So it turned pretty intriguing. That first run had to be super confusing for guys because of the fact that they practiced and didn't think they were going to have any issues. And the second thing that happens is the car setups become more aggressive because the tire is going to live. And then you go into the race. And I think we saw it with a lot of the Hendrick cars. I mean, those guys, their cars fell off more than anybody's because I would assume that the setup was probably a little more aggressive with the decisions that they made Friday night to put in their cars for Saturday.
AJ Allmendinger put it on the pole, and then you're like,
awesome.
man, he's going to have a good... And he was the first car
Yeah.
to have an issue. And you're like, was that just him? Was that just them?
Yeah.
And then they all started.
All
and
started.
luckily for them, everyone was in the same boat, and it kind of cycled back through, so they could kind of regain wherever they were. But I was talking to me and JR Houston had a little bit of a back and forth on Twitter, and he said that who's an engineer for Bubba Wallace's group, he said that the limit of tires takes too much out of the driver's hands because now that they don't have like an unlimited amount, right? You can't just use your technique.
Yeah.
I don't know what that number is, but I think it's interesting when it comes to tire wear and the amount of tires. Like there is a correlation between that as well.
I think when you get into these races, I think the tire limit needs to be way up.
Yeah.
But I don't know that anybody expected that we were going to be in this situation.
No.
So there's a lot of things that you can give them a free pass on this week. And, I think with the tire limit, I think if you get into a situation to where you consistently have tire wear races, the tire limit needs to go way up. You want to see those comers and goers and be able to go as, when you need to and have that strategy. I think, I remember when I first started cup racing, you'd have 22 to 24 sets of tires laying in the pits every
That's
week.
Crazy.
That's insane.
But that's what everybody's trying to get back to, right?
Yeah.
And when you go with whatever they had this week, 10.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough. Then it keeps everybody from having to back that pace down so far because at one point they were running mid 17-second laps in order to save the tires. So tough balance to be able to figure out where you need to be and tough guess with they got to figure the temperature thing out with the tire to be able to make it lay rubber because that's going to be a consistent spring problem. When we go back to Bristol and obviously if you're going to have the race on a Saturday night in September, it's going to lower that surface temperature like it did, and you're going to be right into spring conditions.
Sounds like testing is something that we're going to need
on the horizon.
Look at for sure.
Yeah, and we didn't do a tire test here, and I think that they had no issues in practice. I mean, there were no
Zero
issues.
issues.
And
almost concerning that there were no.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean.
I think to everybody's surprise, but I think the tire wear at the end of 60, 70 laps was the wear holes were. If you go back and watch practice, there were several of those cars that had wear holes that were pretty close to being gone. So I think from that standpoint, if the racetrack takes rubber like it did in practice, I think you might be able to stretch it to 100 laps, but you're not going to be able to run on them all night, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Seems like it caught everybody by surprise. I actually interviewed Kyle Busch before the race and I said, do you have any concern with the temperature changes? And he kind of looked at me like, no, I don't think that's going to be a thing. So everybody was thrown for a loop a little bit. You referenced that you already spoke with Christopher Bell.
Yes.
So it had been kind of a rough go for them. They hadn't won since Phoenix.
Yeah.
So where is his mindset right now?
Well, it was pretty interesting because I asked him, about last week's blow up and how he handled that with Adam. And he referenced a conversation with Adam about, it seems like we're way off, but we're really not that far off of being where we need to be to get back on that hot streak and win races. So I thought that was interesting. I think that I didn't mean to push a hot button, but I did push a hot button with, the next gen car and some of the things that are out of your control. That cause you to have some bad finishes or something that is out of your control, much more than what it used to be with the other cars. So there's less things to be able to control that consistency. Obviously they've made some mistakes and had some things go wrong and haven't capitalized on the things that they have. But one thing that I would say about Christopher Bell is the fact that he sees his teammates running well, and he referenced his teammates running well, knowing that the cars are capable to lead every lap and run up in the front and win races, and he's not the guy that is doing it, right?
Yeah.
And that as a driver is more frustrating than anything when you know that you have the cars that are capable to win and you're consistently not putting the days together instead of consistently winning, and you'd started the year consistently winning, you know that you should be. And that makes it even harder to swallow. But you see Brad right there getting into the back of the 20.
Listen.
I watched him bulldoze his way through on the restart, and he threw that thing down in there at the end. But in the end, Christopher Bell held on to it.
That was a gangster move by Seabell because on the radio, I don't know if it was the crew chief or his spotter, but they're like, "Yep, that was perfect." Because he kind of let him. He knew it was coming, and he let him.
Well, he should have never been in that position. He missed the corner.
Yeah.
First 1 and 2. He missed the bottom.
And he missed, so he let him almost hit him in a place that wasn't gonna be compromising for him instead of like on entry. Because if he hits him on entry, he's kind of cooked. But he was kind of like parked in the corner.
Yeah, you want to be right at the end of that first third of that corner to where you're still going straight. When it hits you, it just kind of launches you forward.
And that Brad has to be kicking himself because he got into the 41, which what brought out that caution.
Well, he got into the 41 who hit the 23 and sent him in the wall when he knocked him out of the way. So ultimately that kind of put a dagger in his strategy.
Yeah.
So Brad Keselowski obviously didn't get that elusive win yet. Let's talk about some of the issues.
Let's just hold on. Okay. Let's give Brad his credit here.
Okay.
I mean, they're at least in contention.
This is true.
To be competitive for the win. We've seen it a couple times now. So it seems like the 6 has put themselves into a little bit better position performance-wise.
Gains are being made.
It sure seems that way.
And he's definitely got that fire in him. He's not afraid to do it.
Yeah, that's not a typical BK move, throwing it all in there, just hammering the guy like that.
He's trying to win this race.
He's got that fire in him.
Got that fire in his
That
belly.
leads me to the fire for Josh Berry, rocker box.
Yeah.
This was a scary incident. A lot of smoke, obviously, in the car. I just hate that Josh Berry's playoffs went the way they went.
Yeah.
It was one issue after the next.
Well, there's something that hasn't changed since I quit driving. The Fords still catch on fire. So, I think that with all the rubber and everything with their exhaust pipes and everything that they have going on, it sure seems like the Fords are definitely catch on fire a lot easier than the other 2 manufacturers with whatever they have. But this is a scary deal right here. Josh rode this thing out for a while.
Yeah.
You can see that he can't see the pit stall right here, and being in that position before with it when it starts burning all the carbon fiber and the foam and everything that is right there at the exhaust pipes, it is nasty smoke.
Is it hard to breathe?
It's very hard to breathe. You can't see because the inside of the car fills up. So, you hope as you keep running that it's going to blow itself out.
Yeah.
But every pit stop I watched, the right front was on fire with just about every car. It just seemed like the Fords were the ones that caught on fire.
Yeah, I hate it for Josh. And even after in his interview, I think he was like looking forward to how the race was going to shape out. He was like excited that, all right, we got tire wear. We're going to be right in our wheelhouse. He didn't get a chance to see it all the way through.
Nope.
So I hate that for them. But it was his first time in the Cup Series playoffs. I think they learned a lot. And I think they...
Holds a record.
Huh?
Holds a record now.
Which record is that?
He officially finished in last place in the first 3 playoff races.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's what I mean.
It's not by his.
It's just,
No,
not by his
unfortunate.
doing. But
That's an insane stat to have.
it's just that tells you how much bad luck Josh Berry had in the first round of the playoffs. It's for somebody who started off the year so well, and immediately we all put expectations on him. I don't think there's anything that could have gone more wrong in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs. Or first 3 races of the first round of the playoffs.
The only one that might have had as much stuff go wrong is the 48.
Yeah.
That's where I was going next. It's like you're reading my mind today.
I got
dude.
you.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. So another team that didn't advance on is Alex Bowman and the 48. Where do you feel Hendrick is as a whole right now? Because it seemed like they just didn't have the opening round. They
have not had the opening round. They haven't had the speed in the opening round like we expected. We're going to see him get squeezed right there by the 35 and we, a lot of times when you get hit in the right front with this car, it immediately just unloads the car for whatever reason and very easily turned around and just barely touched the apron right there as well. So 48 goes around. I think when you look at the Hendrick cars right now, they just haven't fired off with any speed anywhere that we've been. I think that there was a little bit of hope at St. Louis at a racetrack where they hadn't run very well, but that was a tough first round. That was not what we expected. Especially, I picked Kyle Larson to win the race, and he was
had a bunch of
nowhere
different
to
things.
be found
Yeah,
all
went
day.
wrong.
And when you're nowhere to be found at Bristol with Kyle Larson, you're off.
Yeah.
He even had a speeding penalty, which he doesn't typically get those. Kyle Larson.
Well, you start pressing on everything when you're behind. You got to start pressing on pit road speed. You got to press on strategy, just like the 48 did. They swung at the fence to make something happen at the end of that race, but. I don't know. It just seems 48 team in general seems a little bit disorganized. A lot of mistakes, put themselves in that position. They have the speed.
Yeah.
I think the drivers done a decent job.
He's
I mean,
capable.
they've even there had some speeding penalties, had some issues that throughout the year that have taken away from some of those weekends where they've had some speed. So we saw the debacle on pit road with pit guns not being plugged in or whatever the final conclusion was with that. But it was definitely preparation error, and structural organizational error on organizing what needed to be organized on the pit box. So fundamental mistakes out of the 48 team. And it's like we talk all the time. Don't beat yourself.
Don't beat yourself. I think if you're that group, you look at it, you're like, wow, we really just took ourselves out.
Pit crew. They did make the change.
Right, they made the change. We took ourselves out and we came up 10 points short. So if we execute just one of those bad races, not Bristol, but one of the other ones.
I mean, you didn't have to do much in the first round.
You didn't have to do much to make it through.
That is so typical of the first round of the playoffs. If you just finish 15th and do what you need to do. I mean, we did it one year. We went to Bristol and got lapped 5 times because we fundamentally messed up whatever we messed up.
Yeah.
And, it's not hard to do in today's racing to mess up to the point where it's detrimental. And, they made several detrimental errors.
Correct.
To take themselves out of it.
Yep.
Another driver that made some errors was SVG. He too is eliminated, unfortunately. But just multiple times we saw him kind of fish out of water.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know who spun out more, him or Cole Custer.
Yeah, yeah.
But
close.
Just it's just it's a tough scenario to be able to get into these types of for SVG. It's tough to get into these scenarios where you're trying to save tires and do things and where to run on the racetrack and you think you can run up a groove, but as soon as you get in there, the front end's plowing, it's got no grip, and the guy behind you is like, oh, you're in the way. Why'd you slow down that much? As you saw with William Byron right there, and they just shove you out of the way. And, that's, you want to push and shove, but you got to, in these types of situations, you got to learn the techniques of what happens in these types of races. And I think being involved in that and understanding what to do, he's a quick learner.
Yeah.
And we'll go back and analyze it and understand what to do. But that's a lot to take in.
This race was high intensity from the beginning, especially with the tire situation that everyone was trying to figure out. So for SVG, I feel like it was just a lot like intensity. Yeah, intensity was already high because you're in the playoffs and you want to advance. Now it's ratcheted up because it's an elimination race. Now it's ratcheted up because we have this tire situation. That's a lot for him to have to navigate, and it's just a lot. And this is his first time in the playoffs, and like Josh Berry, he'll come back better next year because he's going to be in the playoffs again next year.
Yep.
I think SVG and company have a lot to be proud of what they've done this season.
I think they've the learning curve, the qualifying improvement, and the speed on the ovals has definitely been headed in the right direction for SVG and that bunch.
So that's one of the drivers who didn't advance. One who did is Austin Cindric, who also had a fire in the right front tire wall. Scary incident for him, but he makes it on.
Yeah, and they got theirs out, and he went back out on the racetrack and just kept going.
Yeah.
So there are these types of situations where you just have to battle through it, because with Chase Elliott out of the race, that really saved Austin Cindric, because of the 9 car and everything that he had happened with his incident. But him gutting it out and being able to figure out how to put the fire out and keep the car rolling was the difference between he and the 21 car. But yeah, the Fords definitely have issues right there that need to be addressed if we're going to be in these types of races. With whatever they've got going on.
Yeah, I feel very confident saying that they'll get it figured out, because they're not gonna want to have that situation knock them out of the playoffs. Like your best horse right now is the 12, 12 and 22. If that happens to them and that kicks them out, oof.
And I don't know that you're going to get into a tire wear situation where you get all that build up in the rocker again, because that's typically what catches it on fire.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, mine burned up in 2023 2023, whatever year that was, and we're still burning them up. So progression seems to be a little slow.
We haven't quite figured that
Prolonged
part out.
issue
Yeah.
here.
The problem solving in that department is still going.
Ongoing.
We'll get it sooner or later.
Find it.
Speaking of issues, what about Denny Hamlin? Good thing he obviously has the win security there but he's going to lose some crew members as we approach this next round from a right front tire falling off. A little troubling.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting to see how they fill that depth with the tire changer and whoever gets a vacation here. But definitely the wrong time of year to have that scenario happen because of the fact that you're starting a new round of the playoffs. I think as you go to New Hampshire next week, you expect him to be one of those favorites. So you know that they're going to be in a position with some pressure on them with somebody different up in that right front area. So not ideal.
No.
Not ideal.
He talked about after he won Gateway in the press room. He was like, what our group didn't do last week, talking about the week prior, they did this week, and we won the race. And like, there's a lot of things. It's not all about natural talent. There's a lot of variables, a lot of things. This is one of those variables.
Yeah.
Right? You got this. We talk about it all year long. Execute. Don't beat yourself.
Yeah.
It takes a team, the whole thing. And now we're about to find out how much resolve they have because everything won't be perfect for this next round. So those guys need to make sure they don't take themselves out. Whoever.
Yeah, and I mean, is this the moment? Is this the moment that could affect Denny Hamlin's championship run? I mean, that's really what you have to ask. Because New Hampshire's, most of them are going to come down to track position, pit strategy, executing on pit road, and you're not gonna win those races unless you have all that go your way. And so when you get to New Hampshire, track position, pit strategy,
especially New Hampshire.
So it's just it's inevitable that you're going to have that to execute. So if you have one of those catastrophe type pit stops, you have to ask your question: is this the moment that could take Denny Hamlin's championship away?
Loss of a changer in Jackman moving forward. So we got to give some love to Ty Gibbs, his teammate, though.
Yeah.
Because, I thought of this guy here because he did pick him to win, and it looked like he potentially was poised to get his first cup win.
Dominating.
I felt so smart. I was like, I nailed it this week. My boy is getting it. And they did everything they were supposed to do. He was patient, and then when he wanted to go, he used technique and just moved someone out of the way. Like, it was like shades of old Bristol. And I'm like, this is great. I'm going to walk into the show and tell Kevin, I got your ass. And then right when it mattered most, the execution, and it went the other way. And I hate that for Ty because I know how bad that they want to win in that 54 camp. And that was theirs to win for sure.
Well, the good news is they put together a whole day. Well, not the whole day. It's these races are won in these types of moments, and you see just the amount of speed that Ty had compared to the 19 car right there. And then the right front tire went flat, had to make a whole nother lap with that right front tire to get back to pit road. And as he comes back around right here, you'll see right after the start finish line, you can see where that tire locked up. And the hard part when the tire wear is that high and the tire, it's really hard to get much braking. You see the tire mark started right there up on the racetrack. But trying to get everything that he could and that braking expectation that he thought was there just wasn't there because the tires are bald at that point down to the cords. So it's it's definitely there's a bright side to it, but with the speed and everything that came together. The downside is that one moment where he had that mistake right there and ultimately finishes 10th. But when you finish 10th, he finished 10th the week before. The thing that it's those small victories of getting into the second group, and that helps your qualifying, and that puts you in a position to qualify better, start up front, get a better pit stall, all those things. When you have the ability and speed like that 54 does to stop the bleeding and be able to put yourself back in position and be in contention, it's just, it really is those moments, that one moment like that it came down to the difference between winning the race and finishing 10th, right? So, but leading the most laps and doing all the things that they did, it proves to the team and yourself that you can go out and do what you need to do to win.
Ty Gibbs, he's making his way, trying to get that first
That's right.
Cup win. Well, the final thing I want to look at is involving Chase Elliott, who finished 38th on the day. He is advancing, of course. But what did you see on track between the 9, the 42, and the 11?
Well, it looked to me like the 9 was out of the groove and trying to find a hole, and the 42 had committed to filling the hole. And when the 9 pulled down, he had to check up really hard, hit the back of the 9, and 11 hit the back of the 42, and that just ultimately sent the 9 spinning. But in those situations, when you're racing like that, you want to keep that guy up in that top groove, knowing that he's vulnerable, and you want to take that position. And, Chase saw the hole quickly in the 42. This is how it looked to me. It looked like the 42 had committed to filling that hole. And then when he checked up so hard, he hit the 9, and then the 11 hit the 42, and it was kind of a chain reaction. But I think that's just a racing deal, in my opinion.
Yeah. When you guys watch the race and watch those clips, do you feel like it was old Bristol? Like, I feel like that's how a lot of the racing was when we had it down around the bottom.
I think down around the bottom, but I don't know. You were never really in tire saving mode.
No, yeah,
at Old Bristol.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the things that we saw were people trying to pace themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had some guys whose cars started to fade. But, as far as, no, I wouldn't relate it.
No, you wouldn't relate it.
Running around the bottom, yes.
Yeah.
But the racing, no.
The race itself, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I still want to get us back down around there.
Yeah.
But without the tire saving part, like I just want that married to the bottom, having to use the bumper, using it with technique, not just dumping somebody.
People,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was Bristol, and it was eventful to say the least. Now we're headed on to a new round with 3 new tracks. Loudon, Kansas, Roval. There's something for everyone in this round. What do you think of the complexion of these tracks for round 2?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you have a short track. Well, I would call it a short track.
Loudon,
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas being a mile and a half, and then you throw the Roval in there, an untraditional road course. So you've got a good mix of racetracks in this round. I think that the best cars right now are the Gibbs cars and the Toyotas in general. The legacy cars have been way better too. Mm-hmm. So John Hunter's been up there pretty much every week. Eric Jones has been kind of in and out. Bubba's been good. 2311 cars have been good. I think Reddick's actually, a little bit behind the 23 car currently, but they've still been fairly good as far as speed. So, I think for me I think that the Fords, I don't know that New Hampshire's their style of racetrack. They haven't been great on the road courses. I think they'll be okay at Kansas. That has always been typically a good racetrack for the Penske Fords, at least, to be able to go up there and do something different. But I see the 2, 22, 9, and 1 as being eliminated.
2, 22.
22, 9, 1. Who'd you say? 2. 22.
22. 9.
Okay, those are
and
his
1.
4.
Bingo numbers.
Bingo.
I think the Penske Fords are the ones who always tote the flag for the Fords. They've had Ryan's had opportunities here at New Hampshire as of late, but realistically, it's been a C Bell track. Christopher Bell has just got it done when it matters here at New Hampshire over the last few years, and usually wins both races in the weekend. He usually brings out the broom when he wants to do that. So I think it'll be really hard to beat the Toyotas, and I think now that Christopher is now
got a little momentum.
Yeah, little Mo.
Little mojo.
And he's got a little bit of, he's got a chip on his shoulder, man. He's kind of like you saw it in the Netflix show where like people just forgot he was there. And he's like, no, I'm the guy. And then he starts to, then this year he has 3 wins at the beginning part of the year, kind of loses that little bit of mojo. And to your point, right, you're talking about him watching his teammates be running up front and winning races. But I think he would never say this, but I think he thinks that he's the guy. Like he's the number 1 over there. And you should feel like that way. If you don't feel like
where would you rank him over there?
I would put him. It's tough. They got
It's tough right
they
now.
got 3 guys.
Chase,
But I think
Briscoe,
That is a tough question.
it is. I
Denningham.
think I would put him as far as championship aspirations, number 1. Like
I'm talking about on his team.
on his team, yeah. Like if I'm picking him as to who I think will win the championship first out of those guys, Seabell.
What do you think?
It's really interesting.
It is.
It's really interesting because, I think that at the beginning of the year, they had all the momentum, went flat, really flat through the middle part of the year, have the blow up last week, and now they're back in victory lane. So it's a little confusing as far as how you'd rank them. But I mean, if you go with where everything has been right now, I mean, probably third.
I mean, it's hard to put him above Denny and Briscoe.
Yeah.
Briscoe to me might be P1.
Yeah.
I mean, just in terms of what we've seen in the last couple of months.
And I think for Briscoe, when you look at his last week qualifying 31st, and I think that is part of showing the maturity of the race team. When you can go from the back, calculated day to get yourself to the front and put yourself in contention, that's when you know that you're on the road to a championship team. When you can start in the back and work your way to the front, score stage points, all the things that you need to do, and be in the conversation, to win the race. And I think Bell was in that conversation this week. And I think that St. Louis, I think he's right. I think they had the fastest car. So it's just a matter of how do you rank those teams, right? From driver, pit crew, crew chief, all those things. Because that's what it's going to take at this point to put all those pieces together to get through each round.
And you know what team was very good at Loudon over the years? It was MTJ in the 19.
Well, I mean, I wrote this down for a reason. Joe Gibbs has 14 wins in the Cup Series at New Hampshire.
There you go. So are we all going with Gibbs,
and
guys?
a lot of momentum of late.
A lot of momentum of late.
But let's talk about this racetrack. You won there a lot, 4 times. What challenges lay ahead for everybody?
Well, you have to be. This is one of those racetracks where you have to be good under braking, and you have to be able to turn the center, and you got to be able to put the throttle down on the exit of the corner to not spin the tires, and be able to still. You got to be tight enough to still turn the center and get up off the corner with the throttle down. But I think that not being loose off the corner, you still got to lean towards the car turning in the center of the corner, even if it means you got to give up that much grip on the exit and have to manage the throttle. So it's a tough racetrack to get the balance right, and all those bumps into turn 3 make it really difficult under braking. It's been interesting because since they redid the racetrack, kind of the second lane has been the preferred lane, but as you go through the race, that third lane and even up into the old asphalt, dipping into that old asphalt with all that sealer and stuff on it has come into play. So it'll be interesting to see where the line goes as we go throughout the race. But track position is going to be important.
Yes, very unique place. Up kind of your homeland, New England.
No, not kind of. That is my home.
The Vermontian.
I love New Hampshire. I grew up going to New Hampshire. My dad had season tickets on the top row. And then when they built another row behind us, he yelled at them. So they gave us another season tickets for the top row because I was so little and couldn't see over people. It's just a hard racetrack.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of race fans.
A lot of race fans. The fans will be
Very
packed
cool
out.
fan base,
New England always shows up. We get some Canadians that come through too. Like everyone is always really excited. They deserve this race in the playoffs. They deserve a good weathered weekend. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it stays that way because it's a great race and it's a hard race. It's hard for the drivers. There's a lot of people get frustrated because it's hard to pass. Well, regardless if it was the old car or this car, it's always been hard to pass here. And then coming off of turn 2, it does this weird thing where you kind of drive out of the hole. And if you're not if you're not positioned right and you hit that old asphalt like Kevin's talking about, you just lose grip and
it'll blow the back tires off in a hurry. And it's really weird off of turn 2 when you run that very bottom lane. It's got this. If you touch that left front tire on that bottom seam, it'll just unload the car. And then off of turn 4, if you run that bottom lane, it's almost got like a hump,
like a little crown,
and you can kind of get the car to go with that hump off of turn 4 if the right side tires are right on that seam. So it's a really technical racetrack to drive it well and be able to use all the characteristics of the racetrack that go with it. So it's interesting. my Northeast race fan base changed the year I ran the Oxford 250. Which is probably the biggest late model race in that region. Is that fair?
For sure. No, absolutely.
Yeah. And so I went and ran the Oxford 250. I don't remember what year it was, 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. I actually won the Oxford 250.
Yep. And then sold the car.
And then sold the car. Yeah, we left there. I think we left there. We sold the car. We pulled the souvenir trailer out, and I think we had $114,000 in cash because it paid like $25,000 to win the race. We sold the car. We came home with nothing in the trailer. We had no T-shirts, no hats, but my fan base grew immediately.
Yep.
And in that region, those fans remembered that. From that point forward, I always had a great fan base when I went to that area for whatever reason. It changed the direction of what the New England fan thought of me.
We're just passionate. They're passionate up there, and our race isn't so short.
Yeah.
It's like from April to like October-ish. And we could have snow on the ground when we first have our first race. We could have snow on the ground when we have our last race. So they're just really passionate about racing.
I did race there in November one time, though.
Where?
At 9/11, when they canceled.
Oh, yeah.
When they canceled the New Hampshire race. We raced there.
That was cold.
It was cold. They were digging snow off the racetrack a couple days before we got there, but it was fine.
They still
worked out good.
Yeah.
Great part of the country, very good track. We're all looking forward to heading out to Loudon this weekend. We will both be there.
Yeah, you're going to be out there?
I sure am. I'm doing the truck race.
Oh, good.
So,
I am not.
What?
I am not.
I don't like
I will be
Kevin.
back at the Roval.
Okay.
Back at the Roval.
I'll see you there.
That's right.
All right, guys. Now it is time for Mamba's social sips.
I don't know.
The slappy sip.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but this is everyone's favorite part of the show.
No, this is your favorite part. Let's be clear. Yeah.
I will say, like I mentioned, there were a lot of people. Is Mamba here? On the
I'm
stage?
just saying.
Is
Look,
Mamba gonna be coming by?
look.
Is Mama gonna ever shake Denny's hand again?
Listen, I got no qualms. You know, we can shake hands if he wants to. I don't think he wants to, but we'll see.
You know, I'm just an instigator.
Yeah, I know. That's why I gotta just fan the flames a little bit. Listen, welcome to Mamba's Social Sips, Kevin's favorite part of the show and yours. Kaitlyn's is who knows. This week, Millbridge. It's a nice little dirt track that runs midweek around the Charlotte area. Love what they do, and you never know who's gonna show up. But Audrey Larson is starting to race. This is from Posty. Audrey Larson is starting to race Kyle's daughter, and she got her first win at Millbridge.
Awesome.
The funny thing about it is actually the next night, Owen raced. He won too. So the whole family, except Kyle, won this week. So that was a pretty
They're
cool
flipping
moment.
the script on him.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Last year, you, Piper and Audrey kind of.
Yeah, they would take their go-karts out, to the go-kart track. I think that was pre-Piper retirement. Yeah. Yeah. We retire a couple times a year when it's too hot, too cold, or too hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, baby
Multiple
steps.
retirements.
Audrey's a fireball.
Audrey's a fireball.
She is a fireball. That's awesome, though, to be able to, and especially for Kyle to be there and be able to celebrate that with him. So pretty cool.
Yeah, because she plays a lot of other sports too. So like for him to be able to be a part of those other ones, super hard. But midweek, Millbridge, love that.
A lot of talent in that family.
Congrats.
See that.
Yeah, congrats. This week during the Xfinity race, Stephen Parsons got the call to drive the 35 last minute. He qualified in the top 15, was doing a good job, got caught up in a wreck, but he got some words of encouragement from Dale Jr. after the wreck. Dale comes up to him and you see it right here, just kind of gives him a couple words. I asked Stephen what he said. He's like, man, he said Dale told him you turned a lot of heads this week, late notice. You did a good job in the car, and then just caught him something that wasn't his fault. But Kevin, when someone like Dale or yourself walks up to these guys, especially the guys that are grinding it out, I feel like it puts you over the moon, validates in your effort and your time.
And I think, being able to spend a lot of time around Dale, I mean, he's just a super compassionate person. And he is always paying attention. He knows who's driving what car. He knows what's going on. And he knows when somebody is in a situation that is last minute, and he's not, if he's walking by or right there, he'll go out of his way to do that. That's just the type of person that Dale Jr. is. And Stefan is grinding, trying to figure out how to make a career out of what he loves to do. And I think that Dale Jr. is the type of person that paying attention and respects that. So that does not surprise me one bit that Dale would go over and say something like that.
That's definitely one of those moments where if you see Stefan in one of those part-time JRM cars next year, it could have been because of this race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those type
This
of things.
moment, yep.
All right, so
This has to be good because we're already laughing about it.
yeah, so Ryan Blaney mid-race gets a call on his radio from a voice that he recognizes, but no one else probably does. Let's roll the tape.
Hi, Uncle Ryan. Uncle Ryan. Win this race. Win this race.
Mom, get Brody on the scanner. He found you on a scanner in the bus. Found out how to turn it on. Pretty smart.
That is awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
That is amazing. And you know what's crazy about this? So we went through a time period where people were hacking into the
Yes.
radios in the middle of the
Oh,
races.
my.
And they would come across your radios and it would just be some angry race fan or somebody, never really knew exactly who. Somebody that was trying to interfere with the radio strategies, and they would go track down where the radio was and do like, oh yeah, those
That's
are
crazy.
Yeah, all those channels are FCC registered.
I didn't know you could track him down.
I didn't.
Oh yeah,
care.
a lot of times they can pinpoint where those transmissions are coming from. So, but race fans or race teams or somebody used to hack into our radios and other people's radios to try to screw up your strategies and things during the race to interfere with them. So that one is cute
That is
and
cute.
fun, and Ryan knew exactly who it was. But there have been moments when people would hack into the radios to try to screw up what you're doing.
What was the craziest thing that you heard someone?
It happened.
you
I
were-
remember one specifically at Charlotte where they would come on the radio and you'd just hear just random talking and chatter when you're trying to make a pit call in the middle of the race. But that happened to us a couple times.
How mad were you? How mad? I can see how mad was Kevin Harvick hearing this random voice.
But that's why you got to know what's going on from the driver's standpoint. When you get in those scenarios and it's time to pit and they've got all this crap going on the radio and somebody's messing around and you have a situation, you don't know what's going to pop up, right? Like Brody could have been on the radio there when it was time to come to pit road. Luckily at Bristol, you should know the strategy. Pit. The tires are bald. But that's a great lesson from a driver standpoint as to why you have to be engaged and why you have to be in the meetings and why you have to understand things that are going on in case Brody's on the radio in the middle of the pit call, right? It very well could have happened at that time. He has no idea what's happening, but that's a great example of why the driver needs to be engaged.
His
Brody.
instruction was clear. Win this race.
yeah, it was. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I was great. I'm glad I was under caution. I'm glad. Also, Ryan loves being an uncle, so that's something that I know that he. Really
That'll be a dinner conversation for a long time. You remember that time I got onto your radio there, Unc?
Yeah, it's gonna be great. All right, guys. Thank you. That is Mamba Social Tips. Make sure you leave a voicemail if you would like. 805-317-4175. And we always have the mailbag questions. HarvickHappyHour4@gmail.com.
It's time now for our last call.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario, new customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. NASCAR is not responsible for this promotion and used under license.
So, Kevin, before we get into our picks for this week, let's take a look at the best bet of the weekend, courtesy of DraftKings.
Oh, you could have made some cash this week. Plus 1,000.
Come on.
Our man Christopher Bell was. And that's what happens when you go through a slump. They don't think you're going to win. And then you make them some money.
Make some money.
So, yeah, Christopher Bell. I bet he's not plus 1,000 this week, but take the checker flag with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Harvick. That's code Harvick for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Crown is Mamba's.
Yeah.
This is just going to stay in here from now on.
I'm staying right here.
Yeah, until you get the one from
I like
Until
it.
Piper makes me
Piper,
one.
Did
yeah.
you get that at Burger King?
No. I got this one off the Virgin Voyager cruise.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Burger King.
It was Royal Night, and I was having a good time.
It looks like something you'd get at Burger King.
I know. I got a
with
new one.
Kids meal.
I got a new one for next week that I got from the game over
Yeah.
the weekend. So.
You look like King Triton or something.
I went to I stopped at the Burger King this weekend.
Burger
I'm like, I want to stop here.
I want to
We're
stop
about
here.
halfway to South Boston.
Okay.
When did fast food become not fast anymore?
I think since COVID.
I mean, the
probably.
only place I go that fast food is fast anymore is Jimmy John's and Chick-fil-A.
But that's not Jimmy John's isn't fast
Freaky
food.
fast.
It's,
What is it?
no, that's just like a like
What would you categorize it as?
a sandwich,
categorize
a deli,
it as?
like
Huh?
a sandwich shop, a deli. Like it's not fast food. You get it quickly,
Quickly.
but it's not fast food.
Okay.
But yeah, did you have to wait
So
forever?
is Burger King? I know.
Yeah,
I just
Burger
walked
King's
out.
fast food.
I sat there for
Oh,
10
yeah.
minutes, and
Well,
but that
Totally
happens a
see him
lot
doing
at
that.
those places. McDonald's, Burger King,
Mhm. Well,
all
that's
those
why
places.
they have like
It's slow food.
they have parking spots for you now. It's like you
Yeah.
order and they're like, "Hey, pull up to this spot while we make it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
at
a
least you're
longer
getting it fresh.
process.
You go there. You go to Chick-fil-A with your kids, man, and those people are they're on it.
I'm gonna
They
tell you
are
what.
on it.
You go to Bojangles, they got it going on too. So
Really?
yeah, I love me some Bojangles.
Got a lot of flavor, y'all.
Okay, let's look at the burnout, you guys, and give Christopher Bell a grade for the Bristol burnout. What do you say, Kevin? What'd you think
I don't
of
even
this
have
one?
to watch the video because it's super hard to do a burnout at Bristol. Just with the banking. And I have to imagine that there's probably not a lot of rubber left on the tires, but got a little wall,
I like that.
got a little wall slap right there.
Yeah,
But,
little wall tap.
you know,
little tap-a-roo.
I think this was probably a C.
A
Yeah,
C
it's all
for
right.
Christopher.
Yeah, not great.
Okay.
Not great.
There was nothing outlandish.
But it's hard to do there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's nothing crazy
nothing
about it.
super exciting. Now, this part I do love. His wife
Oh,
has
Morgan.
the most enthusiasm of anybody on pit road.
She
and
does.
I love the fact that they are such a team.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They are she is so into what he is doing. And you can just see the raw,
Genuine
genuine
emotion.
emotion that she has for his success.
Yep.
And
I
when you're
agree.
really into this and you have everything going on, your family, your wife, everybody is so into it. And that's the part I love about these two is they are so passionate about
Yep.
what's going on.
She gets fired up.
She gets fired
Like
up.
if you doubt Christopher Bell, she's like, yeah, okay, watch this.
Yeah.
She's there for every
oh,
practice, every qualifying.
On
She's
the
always on the
radio,
grid. Yep.
100%. And always into it. There's no show.
No,
She's into it. She's there to win with him.
wants to win.
She wants to win with him. And I love that.
Yeah. She came from a racing family too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, let's look at the standings. I made a little ground, which I'm somewhat happy
You went
about
from
this.
last to
Still last.
last.
But I did pick Joey,
Yeah.
which everyone kind of mocked me for that.
I
Yeah,
thought,
but-
yeah. I mean, first half of the race, I'm like, oof,
Tough.
but
tough pick.
I'm at 8, Mamba 21, and Kevin is still leader
My
of the
pick sucked.
clubhouse.
Kyle Larson, we got no points. We had no speed. We got no finish.
We were this far away from me just really beating my chest about where this point situation was. But it's okay. We're just gonna chip
We
away.
have another opportunity.
Yeah, we're just gonna chip away. But I think we're gonna pick the same guy. So I don't know
Oh.
how this will work.
We're going to see. Well, we thank the 64 out of 480 fans correctly picked Christopher Bell, by the way. Nice.
Out of 480.
Yeah.
So I finished last, so that means I got to pick first.
Yeah,
If you want, go ahead.
Is that right?
yeah,
Mhm.
that's how that works.
Dang.
I-
Well, that stinks.
I know what you're gonna pick.
I think I do
I mean,
too.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick
Christopher
Chase
Bell.
Briscoe.
Oh,
oh.
that's who I have written
You
down.
want Briscoe?
Yeah, those guys have been too successful there and had too good a speed with Truex, and I just think that they have a lot of momentum from Toyota, their team, coming off another good week where they figured it out, and I think the 19 gets it done.
That's who I had written down as well. That's why I gave a little hint earlier about MTJ's past success there. You know, trying to give a precursor.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I honestly, it was either Seabell or Briscoe for me.
Oh.
I think either you couldn't go wrong. I had a little bit of like Bubba Wallace in my head because of Toyotas and strength, but I'm gonna go Seabell. He's been so
It's been lights out.
dominant here, and after coming off a win, he's
Got
feeling
old
good.
Mo in
Yeah,
his
he's
pocket.
feeling good that Mojo's rocking for the 20
That's
group.
right.
And the fans can get in on this. So submit your picks by scanning the QR code on the screen or go to the link in the description of the podcast to submit your picks as well.
64 of them picked the right guy last week.
Sure did. Very good.
that's
They're
actually
smart. Those race
Not too
fans.
bad.
That
Not
for a Bristol race to pick Seabell, to have the confidence to pick Seabell.
Do they talk trash to me that they pick the winner?
Yeah,
They do?
People are
Thank you. I love when you guys talk trash.
People are
are
locked
fired
in,
up.
man. I love it.
People are fired up.
I love it. I like when they have great conversation.
Speaking of great conversation, who is on your Thursday episode?
Well, this week's going to be fun.
Why does he
I
look
have
like
Tony Stewart and Leah on this
That's
week, and I had
cool.
no idea that they were going to announce the whole
Leah coming back?
Leah coming back piece of it. So I think it'll be a fun conversation, listening to some great parenting stories. Her talking about getting back into the driver's seat and what Tony's going to do.
Yeah.
What's he going to do with all his time?
He-
Change diapers?
I don't know. He
Change
told
diapers.
Bob he's trying to figure out what his schedule's going to look
Are they
like.
going to race against each other?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Kevin's going to get all the
We'll find out.
answers.
We're gonna
Yeah,
find out.
we look forward to that.
I'm really excited to catch up with them. They're in town this weekend for the NHRA
Nice.
4-wide nationals over here at the drag strip. So.
Make sure you ask him about Matt Hagan. Matt Hagan is the guy that drives the funny car.
Yeah.
And he's just this big, muscle-bound country boy. Like, he's a great guy. Him and
Well, and
Tony-
Stewart wrecked. It'll be interesting to hear
Yeah.
about his wreck this week. I have to imagine that's the first time he's wrecked a dragster.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
Okay. Don't miss
lots to
Tony
talk about.
Stewart. Yeah, on the Thursday episode with Kevin. All right, everybody. That does it for us. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a review. Send us a voicemail. All the things. We will see everybody after. Where are we going?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Yeah.